Here's one you may or may not remember. Explorers. Explorers is a 1985 sci-fi kids adventure kind of movie. Came out in 1985, right? 1985, we saw Back to the Future, of course. We also got to see The Goonies. And yeah, 1985 was a pretty competitive year for movies. This movie didn't do so well. Let's just say it's not as good as you think it might be. We got Ethan Hawke, first movie, when he was like 15, something like that. You know, he's the dreamer. Oh yeah, and his name is Ben. That's just his name. He has these really weird dreams in the beginning of the movie where like computer circuits or something are revealed to him, or a computer program or something, some kind of symbols, and he writes it all down, and he takes it to his friend Wolfgang, who's played by River Phoenix, also his first movie, I believe. And Wolfgang is a genius and has like the latest and greatest computer technology in his basement. Along the way, we meet Darren, who's portrayed by Jason Presson, the rough and tumble rebel with, kind of a sort of sad backstory, divorced parents, alcoholic father, and potential abuse. But he's good at heart, even though he's kind of a rebel, and he says, yeah, screw everybody, whatever, and actually rescues Ben from bullies early in the movie. Okay, so now you got your three kids here, and they have this crazy findings projected to Ben in a dream, which Wolfgang decides to somehow enact, and he basically puts in a bunch of stuff on his computer, on his like Apple IIe computer, even if that was around at the time, and they somehow create a little bubble, and they can move it around with computer commands. And it turns out that this bubble is like indestructible, airtight, and can be expanded. They can travel around in it, potentially even into outer space, because it is airtight and it is indestructible. So they need to put some seating in there so they can sit in it and fly around in it. So they find an old amusement park ride, a tilt-a-whirl. They make a spacecraft out of it, or a little capsule thing to sit in, protected by this indestructible, invisible bubble, and they fly into space, and that's basically the movie. Well, I mean, getting to that point, there's a lot of like scenes of them kind of like hurting themselves, testing this thing out, and there's building the spacecraft. Somehow, while they're flying on one of their excursions, I think the very first one, as a matter of fact, their computer gets overridden. This is pre-internet days, by the way. Their computer gets overridden by a signal from outer space. Same ones that were sending the dreams to Ben. Their computer is overridden, and they start to ascend into space. And they're like, holy crap, what's going on? Oh, and then, we've regained control, and then they're just about to crash. And then later they decide, okay, this next time, we're going to go. We're going to let them just take over our computer and take us up into space where they want us. They get taken up to a spacecraft. There's aliens. They get to explore the spacecraft a little bit and walk around on the kind of okay looking movie sets. Ethan Hawke gets like probed by a probe droid, which is a really goofy scene. It was actually one of the funnier scenes in the movie and one of the better scenes in the movie, but it's not gross like like I'm making it sound. Yeah, and then we meet our aliens, who are the ones that have been sending these dreams and basically the blueprints to make this spacecraft and get up into space and come and meet them. And we meet these aliens, and they are so fucking stupid. I can't express this enough. Okay, The aliens look okay. They look goofy, like you would expect in a kids movie well, I mean, this is after E.T. Like, even E.T. was kind of gross and scary. These guys, they're not scary at all. They're stupid looking. You've got one that's like, the male one is, how do I put this? Kind of a third-rate Robin Williams genie, I guess. Basically talks in a bunch of like movie, TV tropes, things like that, and makes a bunch of old, ridiculous, worn-out jokes, and oh, he's so irritating. And then you have your female alien, turns out to be that guy's sister, and she's like, I don't know, she's all glammed up, she's got red lips and big eyelashes, and and she like flirts with River Phoenix, and it's pretty uncomfortable. Yeah, let's just say right up to that point where we first saw an alien, this movie was okay. So it turns out that these aliens, they only really know about Earth because of what they see on television. They can receive television signals out in their spacecraft. Turns out that these two in particular are basically like kids or teenagers or whatever, and they stole the spaceship from their dad and went to go check out Earth. Yeah, like I said, they only see like TV signals and stuff like that, so they know all these old TV shows, and that's how they learn about Earth. And then the one goes off into this weird, like, extra long monologue, basically just spouting out a bunch of like television references and nostalgia quotes, and it's so annoying and it's so dumb. You remember how I said, like, it's like third-rate Robin Williams? Not even close to being this good. And I looked it up, and the guy who did the voice is the bald hologram doctor guy from Star Trek, one of the Star Trek series. It's just, I don't know if it's the material that he was given or the fact that they had to use so much of it that it just, like, you get to a point, like, it goes on for like 5 minutes, and supposedly they're telling us the story of, hey, we came from space, we sent your dreams, and, we think you're great, and we want to make contact and everything, but yeah, it goes on for like 5 minutes, and it's like, it's the poorest comedy. It's, oh God, I found myself a couple of minutes in just like, oh my, just let this end, please. This is terrible. It's not funny. It's embarrassing to watch this. Oh, that scene just ruined the whole movie. But just as a final, like, gut punch, or the coup de grace, they bring in these two alien kids. They bring in their dad, this huge alien. He's like a giant or whatever, and he kind of looks like them, but he's got weird arms coming out of the top of his head, like Gazorpazorp or Gazorpazorp Field or whatever from Rick and Morty. And they're flopping around, and he's like yelling at the kids, and he's like, and they don't translate it or anything, and it's just like, and that goes on for like 2 or 3 minutes while, he's shaking his finger and he's yelling at his kids. You stole my, I'm assuming, hey, you stole my spacecraft, and you kids are in so much trouble, and blah blah blah. Meanwhile, all you're hearing is this, and it's like, and I swear to God, the guy that voices Megatron, Frank Welker, did the voice for this. His name does appear in the credits, and I'm pretty sure that's him, because it actually sounds like Megatron at some points. Anyway, while he's going off on his kids and yelling at them, they're trying to have like serious lines between our child actors and the aliens, explaining the situation, and oh yeah, okay, we were glad to meet you, and sorry it didn't work out, and blah blah blah, but keep being a dreamer and all that. But meanwhile there's like going on in the back, and oh my God, please just end this damn movie already. This movie had so much potential. Like I said, good actors and a decent storyline. Just the execution of it, they just knife in the back right at the end there. This movie flopped at the box office, did horrible. It had to compete with Back to the Future, which was still in theaters, after like a month or two. The Goonies, and I guess was still in theaters as well. When hit movies were doing well, they would stay for a long time in the theater. Yeah, it had to compete against some pretty big movies. Also, coincidentally, this movie was released on the weekend of the live broadcast of Live Aid, the worldwide benefit concert. It was like a live event and featured performances by British and American acts in Britain and in America. So that was a huge event. And then you put out this movie about three kids who go into outer space and meet Gazorpazorp. But if I had to give it a letter grade, I guess I'd probably go something like a C minus. I mean, I didn't hate this movie. I actually kind of liked it, and it wasn't super exciting, but it was enjoyable up until that last point. So, yeah, I'll give it a C minus. Can't win them all.